This really shows the versatility of this pattern. Now, everything I've shown you in the sleeves has been a set-in sleeve because we've had an armhole and we've put a sleeve into it. And then I showed you the dolman sleeve. So if you didn't get to see that video, make sure you go back and look at it. But now I'm going to show you how to take that set-in sleeve pattern and convert it to a raglan sleeve. Now, maybe that name doesn't mean anything to you, but I bet you the jacket I have on does. Can you see where that raglan line is? The jacket I have on, you will find the directions for on Variations 4. There's another raglan sleeve jacket with stripes, which is really fun to do on Variations 5. So you have two different options on this just to give it a different look. But we're going to use the master top pattern to begin with. Doesn't this look nice? We're going to start with your master pattern. You've already made your master pattern. You're happy with the fit. Yay. So we're going to start with your master pattern and your master sleeve. Those are the two things that you need. You're going to make another copy of them. Remember, we're never going to cut up the master. So we're going to make a copy. And then what we're going to do, this is another reason that I love patternings, is that we're going to actually sew the shoulder seams together just like it were fabric, but we're going to sew those together. Now you only need a half a front and a half a back to do this. You have directions on that master pattern in one of those PDFs how to turn this into a raglan. All right, so make sure that you print those off. So I have a half a front, this is my master, and a half a back of my master, and I've sewn it together on the sewing machine with a 1/2 inch seam because that's the way you would sew the garment. Now watch how simple this is. Let me get this other piece out of my way because I don't need this right now. Here's my sleeve, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sleeve. Now I've creased that sleeve pattern, by the way, so I can line it up with the center of that armhole, which is the shoulder seam. And then I'm going to just scotch tape this in place. Yes, I know you have a hole. Don't worry about the hole right now. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to sew this and tape this in place. I'm going to measure. Here's my seam. I'm going to measure about 2 inches in from the center front and make a mark, and about 1.5 inches from the center back and make a mark. All right? Now you can go more, you can go less. That's totally up to you. Draw the line, hold it up in the mirror again, and see where you think you're going. So I'm going to go from that line right to where the armhole is and draw a line. I'm going to go that line like that and draw a line. Take this to your full-length mirror, put it over your shoulder like this, and see if you like where this line is. If you don't like where the line is, move it, because it's a really simple thing to move it. I'm going to show you how I can move it. Say I wanted it more down here. If you look at this raglan sleeve, there's a really good indication as to where it's going to wind up, but you could take this and make it 1.5 inches away, and you can see when I draw this how much more that's going to drop it to the front of the garment. Now what you're going to do is you're going to cut this apart like this. I know you have a hole. Don't worry about the hole. That's the front, and this is the back. Now one thing you want to do in the back, while it's laying on the table, while you can see it, and if you think that this is not necessary, you're going to see that it's necessary because these look funny pieces. This is a sleeve. This is a front. And this is a back. Mark it right there. Mark it right there. You want to make sure that you know the backs. Now what we're going to do is add a 1/2 inch to each of these pieces because we have to sew it back together again. So I've added a 1/2 inch seam allowance to the back. not the center back, just at where I cut that raglan. And do you see I've got this great big notch to remind myself that's the back. When you cut this out of fabric, cut out a notch, because I'm telling you, they're all going to look alike. Now this you're going to lay on the fold. So if you want to write that on your paper or on your pattern, fold. Any notes you can make to yourself on your pattern, the better off you are. So that's your back. This is the sleeve. And if you look at the sleeve, the back comes up just a little bit higher. That's why we need to make sure we know the back. So I've added a 1/2 inch seam allowance to here with my little notch, and my big notch, and I've added a 1/2 inch seam allowance to the front of the sleeve. So this is the back of the sleeve. This goes in the back. This goes in the front. Then what I'm going to do, just to show you all how this was done, is I'm going to take my front, lay a scrap of patternese down like this, Scotch tape it in place. Take your ruler and mark a 1/2 inch like this. And we're going to come out like that. Now you can draw that or you can just cut it when you mark the lines. So I'm going to cut it like this. And cut like this. Now you've added a seam allowance to your front. Again, this is the center fold of the front. So I'm going to add fold line. Now this is important to know that that's the center, because if you look at this, you might think that's the center. So mark your patterns. It's a lot easier. Now this goes over your head and it has a collar in it, and I love the zipper detail that's in the raglan part of it. This is a wonderful garment to make. The directions for this are on the website, so you can pull that up. I think it's a $5 download, so you get to see how you put the zipper into the raglan. You can see this is top stitch, so I think you can see this raglan a little bit better. But the jacket I had on had a zipper down the center front. If you want to put a zipper down the center front and turn this into a jacket, all you need to do is to add to the center front. That's enough space to put a zipper in, and you have a raglan jacket. Let me tell you one other thing about raglans. They are great for men because it's an easy project to do. If you go to the website and scroll through all those variations, you will see there is a section sewing for men. Now, some ladies tell me, I'm not spending my time sewing for men. That's okay. If you don't want to, it's all right. But go look at the directions, because I think you'll really like some of the garments that you can do for men. And what man wouldn't like you to sew for him? I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you've seen how simple and easy this system is to work with. All of the products you've seen in the video are available on my website or a link on my website. Please make sure while you're there to check out the classes to see where I am. Join me on Facebook under Fit Nice, and be sure to join the Fit Club. Thank you.